Hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. I hope you are doing well. We have a lot to talk about. AC Milan have drawn against Manchester United in the last 16 of the Europa League. Of course, this depends which part of the fan base you're in, because we should change our name to Manchester Divided nowadays, the way this fan base is so divided. The reality is, these are two teams that are very, very similar. Two ex-greats of European football, two teams that have been on the decline for God knows how long. AC Milan have been on a decline longer than us, so they're probably at a point where they're going upwards now because they're second in the Serie A. And the reality is, I don't think AC Milan are as good as people think. Now, obviously, we'll have the match preview coming on the channel closer to the time of that fixture, but just very, very quickly on AC Milan and what I think of this draw. I think it's very, very simple. AC Milan, I don't think they're as good as people think, but respect to them for making it where they are. Zlatan's obviously a very quality player. I mean, you have people calling him washed. I don't think he's washed. He's got the statistics to literally, factually denounce the idea that he's washed. But also on top of that, if you actually just watch football, you'll know that Zlatan, yes, he doesn't have a lot of pace. Yes, he's not as agile as he used to be. Yes, there's a lot of deficiencies to his game, but that doesn't matter. He can still put the ball in the back of the net if the chance is created, and therefore he is a threat. Now, whether or not he's a threat for Manchester United, I don't know. I feel like the lack of pace doesn't really help him. And the thing about AC Milan is, I'm not going to pretend like I've watched them, but from what it sounds, from the people who do watch the Serie A, the very few people that I listen to who watch the Serie A, they're not the most tactically sound team. They can be beaten very, very easily by Manchester United. So focusing on Manchester United, with the injuries we've got at the moment and with the games we've got coming up in the Premier League, this is probably not the draw that makes the most sense. Now, me personally, I don't care who we get in the Europa League, fam. For me, there's blood on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's hands if we do not win this trophy. End of story. End of story. I don't want to hear it. If we do not win this trophy that we're too good to be in, there is blood on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's hands. And also, anybody who has a snarky attitude towards the Europa League, we've been in the bloody competition for the last few years more than any other team, bar Arsenal, really, in the traditional top six. You look at Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, United, Spurs. Out of those teams that I just mentioned, Arsenal and United can't get enough of this trophy. We love this trophy. We might as well marry this trophy with how crap we are. So for me, there's no excuse but to win this trophy for this manager, as I've already said in this video. So what would I do if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the minute? Well, if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, first of all, yesterday I would not have played a strong team. I would not have brought Marcus Rashford on. I would not have started Bruno Fernandes. There was literally no point. There was literally no point. Bruno being captain is obviously a good thing, but at the same time, did it really make much of a difference? Not really. And you could say that's because we look the same with and without Maguire, and I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm like, is it really worth making him captain? Oh, Bruno, we're 4-0 up and we need a leader. Now's your time. Really? Like, I just don't get it, fam. If I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would prioritize winning a trophy and making top four. And how I would do that is by rotating the squad in games like yesterday, where we didn't need to play such a strong team. Crystal Palace next week, depending on the Chelsea results, do not play an exceptionally strong team. Play a blended team against Crystal Palace and manage that game as well as you possibly can. Because I tell you what, if you play a strong team every single week or every single game, eventually it won't matter which competition we prioritize, because we'll get knocked out of all of them, fam. And I don't understand why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer he can't conceptualize that, because we fell into this trap last season as well. We went on an amazing run for 3 months and then we got burnt out just before the semi-final of the FA Cup. You know, we had that semi-final in the FA Cup where we got battered by Chelsea 3-1. Then we drew to Crystal Palace, or we just narrowly beat Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken. Then we drew to Southampton. We nearly lost to West Ham, or we drew 1-1 with West Ham when they scored the penalty, when Pogba did the thing with the handball, and everyone was like, oh my God, Pogba's brain dead. And, you know, like, yeah, remember that part in the season where we just fell off a cliff? That was because we did not rest our players. We virtually played the same team after that Spurs game. When we went on that 3-month lockdown period, we came back, we drew with Spurs. We virtually played the same team, and I don't think that needs to happen this time around. So for me, that's how I would have done it. But obviously, I'm not manager of Manchester United. I don't have any coaching badges. So we're just going to have to see what happens in the rest of the season. We're just going to have to see.